Mirror's Edge is a first-person action game developed by DICE, a subsidiary of Electronic Arts working on the Battlefield series. Already confusing is the fact that a company primarily concerned with the creation of shooters would work on a game about running and jumping. Even more perplexing is the fact that it takes place from a first-person perspective. So how does a platforming game work out under these interesting circumstances? Set in a utopian city, Mirror's Edge concerns the exploits of a young woman who acts as a courier carrying physical messages around the metropolis. Faith is a runner utilizing the flow to get from A to B. The flow, or runner vision, allows her to identify advantageous routes across rooftops, avoiding the police, or blues, in the process. A background story is quickly implemented explaining why there are runners. Faith seems to be a member of a resistance. Although the city runs the facade of being a utopia, the rulers have complete control over security, communication, and media. It's sort of a miniature totalitarian regime or something out of Orwell's 1984, but damn, this is one clean city. Faith's mother died in protest several years back, so she joined up with a man named Mercury who works for people interested in seeing the city restored to order. So while Faith is doing her usual delivery one day, she learns that her sister Kate might be in trouble. Kate works with Pope, an upcoming political figure who might actually make a difference. Naturally, he is killed, and it appears that Kate has been framed for his murder. The only clue is a link to something called Icarus.
Icarus? Wasn't he the Greek guy?
Yeah, his dad made him some wings out of feathers and wax. Then the boy flew too close to the sun.
From then on, the game becomes about identifying what Icarus is and clearing Kate's name. I thought the plot was pretty average, like an unremarkable Big Brother setting, which holds the belief it is something, more substantial. I mean, there were parts where I could just say, oh, that girl's gonna betray me down the line, and it happened. It's just too predictable sometimes, probably because of the relatively short length. An advancement of the plot is done by transmissions from Mercury, in-game cutscenes, and some really nice animations between chapters.
Shit, Faith. Why are you doing this? It's not your fight, just, I don't know, lay low.
Everything's changed. The city's different now.
The gameplay is more intriguing. I haven't seen anything like Mirror's Edge before, because most platformers focus on a traditional third-person perspective. And for how it presents its core gameplay, Mirror's Edge is really nice. Movement feels fluid and responsive, and it incorporates Faith's limbs into the camera so you can see when she's doing a full-out sprint, holding out her arms, or putting her legs forward during a slide. If you remember the Jurassic Park game called Trespasser, it's exactly the same as that. The flow effect which they describe works remarkably well. You can easily identify what routes to take by specific red cues. Objects will be highlighted red for you to use them. This keeps the gameplay in check, so there's never really any dull moments except for the occasional elevator ride. It's even better when you're being shot at and the adrenaline is pumping. When you perform well during these crucial moments, the sensation is just amazing. Sometimes you have to work against the blues unloading their magazines on you. Those moments allow Faith to use her moves on the cops by kicking them in the head or disarming them. You can use their weapons as well, but shooting feels somewhat awkward. Still, you're not forced to fight many times, so this keeps the gameplay solely focused on running even more delightful. Here's my only critique of the gameplay. While running and jumping is all good fun, there's also some times where you have to grab onto poles, ledges, and bars. The controls for them are simple to use and don't affect the flow. That's not my issue. The issue is the whole arms coming into the camera effect. You see, if you don't face up when you grab a bar, you won't grab it, even if you're at the correct height and looking down. I get it. So you have to be facing an object to catch it right. It's context specific. Well, there were some times when I swear I was facing the right direction and I just fell off. So while it's a sound concept, it can often fail and needs polishing. Aside from that minor fault, the gameplay is really fantastic and something unusual. You can challenge yourself after the game is finished to do some chapter speedruns and some time trial events. The artwork at Mirror's Edge is an extreme positive for the game. This city is gorgeous. A combination of the Unreal 3 engine and a revolutionary lighting system makes this a profound looking experience. I mean, this is just eye-gasmic. Your eyes will bleed from the visuals. Running through office blocks, storm drains, rooftops, it doesn't matter. Every square inch of this game looks amazing. The attention to detail is borderline obsessive. For a game about running around, it's also disheartening. There were moments when I forced myself to stop and look at the environment around me even though an M249 was blasting away. It just seems like they should have made this a shooter at some points so you can stop and admire how the art team really succeeded. Honestly, this is one of the best looking titles I've ever seen. It's colourful and creative. I can't wait to see what Battlefield 3 looks like. The music of Mirror's Edge is not a lot to talk about. It's almost as if they borrowed it from a nightclub. Continual beats. It's great music for running, I guess, but for the whole mystery of the city, there's no music to back that portion up. I felt as though they should stop the pacing for a couple of minutes and let you absorb the detail of the narrative while playing the music. That's what Half-Life 1 and 2 did and probably made them so successful. It's the enigma that Mirror's Edge really lacks, but considering the story, it could be a great asset.
You're inside. Get out of there, Faith. Right there, see it? Take it.
I think the strongest point about this game is the heart-pumping gameplay delivered while sprinting around a beautiful metropolis. It's fun to evade the law and make it out of very tight spots, particularly from the first-person perspective, where you can feel that there's more control. You can actually see what your limbs are doing and how it would realistically work if you were in situations like this. I just really wish that this game was much longer than it was. Mirror's Edge comes in at about 3 or 4 hours, and Lady can do chapter speedruns and achieve a time around an hour. Having shorter games means less of an overall story, but I get that building an environment as large as this takes a huge amount of time, so I find myself in an impasse. Do I choose slower gameplay to lengthen the game? Then I might get bored. Would I sacrifice the amazing artwork for longer levels? Not really. I will say, for what they did accomplish, it's pretty damned impressive, and I think there's no reason not to play Mirror's Edge at its current price of $10. Embrace the flow and experience Mirror's Edge.